Hello friends and fam, enlightened beings, Hardcore Yogi here. So it's been quite a fascinating day for me, a bit different in certain ways. Have not eaten a meal yet, so that's been different as well. And I guess I want to share some insights from today regarding some very profound reading I did earlier this morning, as well as a psychotherapy session I did today. My first one actually, which was extremely valuable. I really enjoyed it. So I just want to share the first big key insight, which came from the psychology session. And she spoke about unhelpful thinking styles. So what are these? Well, I guess a good sort of starting point to express what this is that it is so often not the objective reality which triggers us, which frustrates us, and very often we humans are not in contact with objective reality. Now sure, there are facts in the world, there are facts, but we don't often perceive just a fact. We often perceive a fact plus the our subjective perception of it, as well as our thoughts, our beliefs about it. There's all these different filters through which we interpret and understand the objective fact. So what are some of these filters? What are some of these unhealthy thinking styles or patterns that people may get into? There's three that she mentioned, and I certainly see how I have embodied these three, even very recently. So the first one, the first unhelpful thinking style, was personification. Was that the word you used? Or no, personalization. So this is where an event happens and you make it all about me. It's all about me, this little self. It's like that event, that person did something, or this event happened because of me, because of the way that I am. It says something about me and my traits and my worth. It's all about me. So that's the first sort of pitfall of thinking we can often fall into. Whereas very often, many events are not about you at all. It's about the other people and their own things that they have going on. It's about the histories of other people. So often, yeah, the things that happen around us are not a reflection of us. Maybe we have something to do with it, but we are not at the very center of it, you know? So that's the first one, personalization. The second one is black and white thinking. So just thinking in black and white. So, you know, something is either fully right or fully wrong. There's no in between. You know, they did this, which is fully wrong. If they do this, it's fully right. So that's the other thing, you know, seeing any event as completely right or completely wrong. And when we do this, when there is no gray area, we kind of lose our own adaptability and our own resilience because we need something to be a certain way. So that's the second unhelpful way of thinking, which is thinking in black and white. Then the third one is catastrophizing. Low battery, we'll still get through it. So catastrophizing. This is where we perceive an event that may be in the future, a possible scenario that will happen, and we really catastrophize it. We always make it so much worse in our own head compared to what will really happen. And in fact, the event that may happen, it cannot be exactly the way that we think it to be. We add so many layers of our own assumptions that it's just extremely unlikely the event will be as we perceive it will be. So we really need to see or notice when we are catastrophizing in our own minds. Kirsty Lee, black and white thinking, also a byproduct of borderline personality disorder. Fascinating. Well, is it a disorder or is it a little trap that humans can fall into in general? That's a question we can each ask ourselves. I'm happy to look on each side of that coin. So that's a few of the sort of unhealthy ways of thinking. But I'm keen to actually look at that, borderline personality disorder. I'm keen to explore that more for sure. So anyway, that sums it up. The three unhelpful styles of thinking I learned about, it was personalization, making it all about yourself, black and white thinking, seeing things in absolute, and then lastly was catastrophizing, making it out to be so much worse than it is. And then coming into now the next topic, the final topic, which is dropping the ego. And what does this mean? How is this relevant or useful? So yeah, it came when I was reading this great book today, Creativity by Osho. And he says the ego is pretty much when we have a conflict with the whole. And he speaks about, it's a common term to say drop the ego, but to a lot of people this is too metaphysical. Like, what is the ego? How to drop the ego? It's very metaphysical. So he says instead, just say drop the conflict. Drop your conflict with reality, with the whole. When we drop our resistance and conflict with the whole, we simply allow the whole to be as it is. We trust that the whole will unfold as it is meant to. And we are not even separate to the whole, we are one with the whole. When we just trust and allow this process of unfolding, there's a sense of surrendering and opening. And then we do allow and we trust that the life force which flows through us, when it is not in conflict, but when we just allow the life force to flow through us in a state of allowing and in a state of peace, we just trust that the life force that flows through us will bring us into harmony with the whole. So yeah, that's a big one. Dropping the ego is very much the same as dropping the conflict, to trust and allow the whole, to love it as it is, and to just be one with that journey. So yeah, that's a sort of deeper layer and truth that we can access. On the more surface level, change our thinking to be more in harmony. But then on the deeper level, just trust the harmony which is. The part cannot conquer the whole, that is ridiculous. The part can only become in harmony with the whole. That's what I'll leave us with for today. Much love, namaste.